Hello, I wanted to share a story with you guys that I had found online regarding Rivian, the electric electric pickup and SUV company. Uh, this was a report by Electrek and was reported this morning, May 31st at 6:55 a.m. by a gentleman named Fred Lambert. And it said Rivian had a battery fire at its facility. Not good. Um, It says a battery pack caught on fire in the testing area of Rivian's factory in Normal, Illinois this weekend. The cause of the fire is under investigation. It says the incident happened on Saturday on the southwest side of the plant where Rivian builds and tests its battery packs for its electric vehicles. The Normal Fire Department quickly arrived on the scene and wrote in a press release, Normal firefighters responded to the Rivian Automotive plant at 100 North Rivian Motorway at 10:38 this morning in the report of a battery pack on fire inside the building. When firefighters arrived, there was a battery pack in thermal runaway in a battery testing area in the southwest side of the plant where the batteries are built for the Rivian vehicles. So I don't know what thermal runaway exactly is, but the battery must have overheated or due to the chemicals within the battery must have gotten very hot and thermal runaway. I don't know if that means it was physical flame. I would assume that it does. So this thing was physically burning within the facility. Um, and getting back to it, it says firefighters connected hoses to standpipes inside the building and extinguished the battery pack fire and then continued to flow water on the pack to keep it cool to prevent further thermal runaway from occurring. Bloomington firefighters were called to the scene to assist with manpower due to the size of the facility, and off-duty normal firefighters were called in to handle other calls during the incident. So I'm sure that they called in backup just to make sure, because the plant's so large, they wanted to make sure that they could contain it. And in the case that they couldn't, if it had spread, they wanted to make sure that the firefighters were in place to handle the capacity of a much larger fire if it spread. Now, obviously, this happened to a battery pack that's probably next to other battery packs. And so I would think it would be, kind of a link in the chain, a chain event where you could get that fire to spread very rapidly across all the batteries if this is where they manufacture and test them in that section. I'm sure they have safety measures in place, knowing that these batteries are still fairly new and in their infancy in engineering, but quite interesting. So I'll keep reading. It says once the fire was under control, the battery pack was moved outside. Probably a good idea. It was later returned to Rivian to investigate the cause of the fire. We contacted Rivian about the incident, and the spokesperson sent Electrek the following statement. I guess. I don't think I got the statement actually. It didn't print out quite right. But basically, what Rivian had made a statement about was basically saying, that they kind of swiped the whole thing. They didn't get much into the battery, other than saying, which is very important. They mentioned, nobody got hurt. That they had shut the plant down and that it was back up Sunday night, I believe they said, and that they're going to investigate. But they really didn't mention too much on the actual fire of the battery. They just said that their engineers are going to look into it. Probably a good idea, right? Yeah, you'd think. Um, in closing, it says the incident occurred as Rivian is attempting to ramp up production of its electric vehicles at the Normal factory. Last quarter, Rivian produced 2,553 vehicles, so just over 2,500, and delivered 1,227 of them. So I don't know. In the last quarter, they produced 2,500, but they only delivered 1,200. Not really sure what happened to the other 1,300 and change vehicles. How come they didn't get delivered? Maybe they're, just happening just after the quarter, or maybe they're holding on to quite a few of these vehicles for testing purposes. Maybe they're not quite ready to hit, so maybe they're having some production issues. I don't know there, but um, I don't know. Right off the bat, I've got questions regarding, they're producing 2,500 a quarter, but if they are only delivering half, where's the other half? What's going on with that? That's my question. Um, it says it is currently losing a lot of money on these vehicles during the production ramp up, I'm sure. Right now, Rivian is in a race to continue increasing production to satisfy demand while trying to improve its gross margin to produce the EVs profitably and stop hemorrhaging money. Um, Last week, the automaker announced that its head of manufacturing engineering is leaving and it is reorganizing its leadership. Yeah, I've heard, that they've got some executives, some higher up the ladder people kind of moving out, and so I think they're going through some growing pains. I say growing pains. I mean they're still, very young, um, but with growth in the horizon, they're trying to do the thing that Tesla did, where, to ramp up the production, and so you're going to get these situations with the batteries and whatnot. Raises concern for the vehicles that's out there. If they had a battery fire in the plant, what caused it, and do these vehicles that are on the road have that same issue potentially? Can they isolate it? I mean, you got a burnt battery. I don't know how. I'm not an engineer, but I don't know how they go back and try to figure out exactly what caused the fire in the first place. Especially when you got charred remains that got soaked with water. But anyway, just wanted to report that to you. Some fresh information. I didn't see any other reports out on YouTube. So, yeah, if you like it, subscribe, and maybe I'll put out some more videos like this. Thanks. Have a good day.